Hi everybody. Well, we've got another unboxing here today. I've gotten in this new Forest of Enchantment Tarot, Lunea Weatherstone, and it is illustrated by Marela. I hope I'm saying that right. Marela Allwood. So it's a very nice box from Llewellyn. Little general information on the back here. The forest beckons alive with mystery and wisdom. Looks like we've got a clasp there, but I'm going to just go ahead and tear into it because I can't wait. This is a fairly new production. I think it just came out this week. I've only seen maybe one or two other videos so far on YouTube on this deck. So here we are. Very nice magnetic clasp. Gin and tonic in the background there. Priorities, folks, priorities. Okay. Magnetic closure. Very nice. Oh, look at this. Look at the book cover. Isn't that beautiful? Your Path Through the Enchanted Forest, Lunea Weatherstone. Now, let's see what is included in the book. Ooh, full color. A little bit of information on the author and the artist. Wow. This is beautifully done. Well, you know, beauty is half of what we're looking at tarot for, the artwork. Acknowledgements. Let's see, here we have the differences between this deck and the traditional tarot. The Fool is the white heart. Well, I don't want to go through them all because we'll do it when we look at the cards. And the Minor Arcana. Let's see, wands are spells, cups are visions, swords are challenges, and pentacles are boons. And I do apologize for the siren in the background. I live about 1/4 of a mile away from the local hospital where I work, so we have a lot of sirens. Alrighty, a little bit of frequently asked questions about tarot, how to use your cards, reversals, then going into the major arcana, information on each card, meaning at a glance and a closer look. The Enchanter. So we have full color pictures in this book. The Forest Lord for the Emperor. That's really wonderful. Okay, well, I'd rather spend time looking at the actual cards than going through the guidebook. But every single card in this book has a color illustration in the book and a pretty nice extensive explanation of the meaning. So this is a fantastic book. How many pages is this book? We've got journaling space in the back, but there's over 200 pages of information. Let's see, what do we have here at the very back? Oh, spreads. So a 1-card spread, a 2-card spread, breadcrumbs and moonstones, a reading based on the tale of Hansel and Gretel, the Owl's Advice. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. You know, ever since I was a little kid, I've always felt drawn to forests and fairy tales such as Hansel and Gretel and, you know, all those German forest type fairy tales. Okay, let me take a minute to just unwrap the cards. I'll be right back. All right, so here are the beautiful card backs. Oh my gosh. Owls are one of my favorite forest animals. They're reversible. There's a ribbon to hold your cards in. Look at the swan there. Very pretty. All right, I'm going to just set this box aside for now with the book. And we will take a look at the cards. The cardstock is nice Llewellyn cardstock. Whoop, that one jumped right out of my hands. It is not too glossy. It is what I would call matte. Not too shiny. So let us go to the beginning. I love the foresty colors. The green, the blue, aquas. My favorite color palette. I'm already connecting with this deck and I haven't even looked at it. Okay, here we have the White Heart in place of the Fool. And I like to give you a few seconds to look at every card. I really get annoyed when I'm looking at videos of decks and the person showing it just a brief split second and they whip that card away. I'd like for you to get a good chance to look at it. So there is the White Heart. Next we have, for the Magician, we have the Enchanter. Oh gosh, look at that beautiful card. There's an owl. There's all his goodies up there, his supplies. He's got an hourglass. He's got a mortar and pestle for his herbalism. Books down here. And he's conjuring some magic. Gorgeous card. I think the owl is my favorite element in that card. Here we have the Wise Woman in place of the High Priestess. Just beautiful. Next we have the Green Mother. This card I'm not too fond of. I don't care for people who are colored artificially. I would have preferred to see her in similar colors to the Wise Woman. So as this would be substituting for the Empress, we've got a groundhog here, or porcupine with little infant porcupines following after. We've got a mother rabbit and an infant rabbit. And the mother and the baby. But like I said, I don't care for the coloring in that card. So there's one I'm not too fond of. Here is the Forest Lord. Absolutely gorgeous. Then we have, in place of the Hierophant, we have the Oldest One. And I've seen several decks where the Hierophant was represented as a tree, and I really like that symbology. I like this card. The Oldest One. Trees have that sort of connection with wisdom of the ages. Here we have the Lovers. No more explanation needed for that. He set aside his bow and arrow for a little togetherness time there. Very sweet. Here we have, in place of the Chariot, we have the Fairy Wind. So we've got the sense of motion, wings, setting your course. Here we have a beautiful Strength card. Oh my gosh, I love this. The Wolf. Absolutely beautiful. Next we have the Hermit, a badger, in his den. He's got a den similar to the gentleman we saw in the Magician card. He's got all his little goodies tucked away there in his hollow. His books, writing utensils on the table. I love his chair too, bent wood chair in front of the fire. That's a really pretty image, the Hermit. Instead of a lantern, we've got this lovely fireplace. I can work with that. Instead of the wheel or the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Enchanter's Wheel. That is beautiful, full of magical items. A seashell, a mushroom, a key, arrowhead. Love the birds. Just beautiful. That's really a pretty wheel. The Enchanter's Wheel. Next we have the Huntsman. And this would be, I'm assuming, in place of justice. So we have a huntsman who's not hunting. The animals have no fear of him. It's an interesting card. I don't know that it speaks to me of justice, but it's pleasant nonetheless. Okay, then in place of the Hanged Man, suspension. This card sort of gives me a feel of someone in utero, although he's a grown man. But he's inside this sort of a, I don't know what you would call it, suspension. Next we have Black Shuck. Very ominous figure there. Number 14, in place of Temperance, we have the Forge. Number 15, in place of the Devil. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say Black Shuck is in place of Death. The Liar in place of the Devil. He's beckoning to you to join him in his whatever activities he's up to. Here we have the Folly in place of the Tower. Starlight for the Star. Oh, nothing prettier than starlight through the woods. Beautiful. And Moonlight. So we have some hares who I think are generally more active at night, so they make a good animal to represent a night activity like starlight, moonlight. Next we have Sunlight with Pan playing the wood pipes there. The pan flute, I guess you call that. Beautiful sun, I love that. The rays, lovely. And then in place of Judgment, we have the Council of Animals. So I guess they're meting out justice. Not really realistic to real life, but this is sort of a fairy tale deck, so there you go. And then in place of the universe or the world, we have the wide world. Oh, it's just beautiful. Look at the hills and the different colors. The branches of the tree in the foreground. Oh gosh, that's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Here we've got the original stag that was in the Fool card. Alrighty, here we have the 4 aces. Spells, which is the suit of wands. Visions for cups, challenges for swords, and boons for pentacles or coins. Here are the twos. Very nice. I like this 2 of challenges with the mirror. And I like this 2 of boons with the, I don't know if you can see it there. There's a little what would you call it? The troll under the bridge. Alright, let's move on to the threes. Wow, look at that three of spells. That is beautiful. Three of visions. No cups in sight, but it's the same card. Three of challenges. No heart with swords piercing it in sight, but it's the same idea. And the three of boons. Okay, oh gosh, that is so pretty, that three of spells. Look at that. Sending them down the river. Here we have the fours. Four of spells. Four of visions. That's interesting with the bird there. Four of challenges. Very restful image of a tree. And the four of boons. So they've got their foundation of their wealth in this card. Okay, moving on to the fives. Five of spells. Interesting, we got a frog mixed in with some, couple of frogs mixed in with some little fairy type men. Five of spells. Five of visions. Five of challenges. And the five of boons. Very typical Rider-Waite feel to this five of boons, which would be the five of pentacles. Okay, on to the sixes. Six of spells. So they're very triumphant there. Their spell has worked. They've hatched their dragon. Very cute. Six of visions. A feeling of nostalgia. Youthful dreaming, daydreaming. Six of challenges. Correlating to the Six of Swords. And a really, really pretty card here. Six of boons. And I don't know about you, but I can count a lot more than 6 rabbits there. But that's okay, because the more the merrier. Really, really a pretty card. Six of boons, or Six of pentacles. So she's got plenty of rabbits there. More than she needs. Plenty to share. Okay, now we have the sevens. Sevens are a card of decision. Here we have the Seven of Spells. I like how they've associated the dragon imagery with the suit of spells or wands. They fit in perfectly. Look at that, how sweet that is with those little gnomes. Seven of Spells. Seven of Visions, which would correlate to the Seven of Cups. Seven of Challenges, or correlating to the Seven of Swords. A lot of stealthy activity there. And then we have the Seven of Boons, which correlates to the Seven of Pentacles. Seven different doors there leading to 7 different apartments. Okay. Moving along to the eights. Oh gosh, another card with owls. 8 of Spells. That's wonderful. We've got that sense of movement, purpose, direction. Eight of Visions. Again, a lot of movement there. Eight of Challenges. She's kind of stymied and feels like she can't move. And then we have the Eight of Boons. Someone who's accomplished quite a bit. She's an accomplished weaver, it appears. Next, on to the nines. Gosh, this is one of my all-time favorite Eight of Wands, or in this deck it's known as the Eight of Spells. I love that card. I'm an owl fanatic anyway. Alright, now let's take a look at the nines. Here we have the Nine of Spells. So she's working hard there, developing her magic. We have the Nine of Visions, correlating to the Nine of Cups. Nines are all about achievement. Here we have the Nine of Challenges. So there's a lot of anxiety, stress, guilt, a little bit of nightmare maybe. Very typical Rider-Waite. And then we have the Nine of Boons. Oh, isn't that cute? That's very similar to the Rider-Waite card where the lady's in a garden and she's got a bird on her shoulder. Only this is more foresty, of course, rather than looking like a lady on an estate. But very similar feel to the card, Nine of Boons. Alrighty, let's move on to the tens. Here we have the Ten of Spells, which would correlate to Ten of Wands. The Ten of Visions, which would correlate to the Ten of Cups. So happy life, happy family. The Ten of Challenges. This guy is just done. He's ready to move on to the next phase of life. And then we have the Ten of Boons. A great legacy, great accomplishment. Wonderful. I love these cards. I really, really love these cards. Every one of them is so pretty. The coloring is gorgeous. The way they express the meaning of the card is very understandable. Now, instead of the page, we have child, which is pretty much the same thing. Child of Spells. Child of Visions. Child of Challenges. And Child of Boons. Oh, I was mentioning earlier, you know, how much I enjoyed when I was a kid, the Grimm's fairy tales. This has a real fairy tale look to it. Like he's Hansel going to the house, the gingerbread house made by the witch. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, let's move on to, instead of the Knight, we have the Seeker. The Seeker of Spells. Oh man, is she beautiful. The Seeker of Visions. I like how he's got a heart. So Seeker of Visions. The Seeker of Challenges, or the Knight of Swords. The Black Knight. Wow, that's pretty cool. Like the bird on his shield. And then we have the Seeker of Boons, which would correlate to the Knight of Pentacles. Looks like a wise woman picking her herbs. I do like that association for that card. So this deck is a little different. I love it. You may or may not. But let's see. Moving on to the Weaver. Instead of the Queen, we have the Weaver. Weaver of Spells. A lot of motion in that card. Beautiful. The colors, wow. I'm loving it. Here is the Weaver of Visions. Mermaid kind of a look. the Weaver of Challenges, or the Queen of Swords. She's got that look to her. And the Weaver of Boons, or the Queen of Pentacles. Nice. Okay, we've only got one more group to look at, and that is the Kings, or in this deck, they are called the Keepers. So we have the Keeper of Spells, otherwise known as the King of Wands, Keeper of Visions, or the King of Cups. I'm not sure I like a fish for that card, but what are you going to do? Then we have the Keeper of Challenges, otherwise known as the King of Swords. Whoops. Well, I got through to the last one and finally had one that turned up upside down. Here we have the Keeper of Boons, or the King of Pentacles. I really like him. So there we have it. The Forest of Enchantment Tarot. I hope you enjoyed this quick little run through and unboxing. Take care and have a very pleasant evening, and I'll talk to you next time.